Hello, dear Imani.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dear Imani. I'm your host, Imani, obviously. So last time I was here, I was in the studio with my friend Ali, and that was before the podcast had actually launched. So on Friday, this is my first time back in the stew, and since I launched the podcast, and now it's here, and I'm an official podcast host. So cheers to me for that. Two, it was so much fun. I got so much support that day from all of you, the reposts, the comments, the messages, the DMs. It made me truly feel really special. And I'm like super excited to continue this journey. And the day itself was really fun because my boyfriend Alex surprised me with like a little cake that had Dear Imani on it. And then I got flowers and I went to brunch with two of my best friends and we just celebrated the day. So I truly felt really, really special. And that's thanks to all of y'all for supporting it. So continue to do so. And thank you so much. Also, life update. I posted on my Instagram that I was trying to lose 20 pounds. And a lot of you gave me good insight on foods and snacks that I could buy and eat. So I went to the grocery store and I got all the snacks, and I'm on day 4 of eating healthy. Because one thing about me is I will eat hot Cheetos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, the past week I was probably doing like breakfast, McDonald's breakfast, lunch, Taco Bell, dinner, Wendy's biggie bag, and never sleep on Wendy's biggie bag. It's literally chicken nuggets, burger, fries, and a drink for like $4. So I was living off that for a good time, and I was seeing it on my body. So now I'm like, I would like to lose 20 pounds. I'm not necessarily trying to get back to my Miss USA weight because that was for me not super sustainable. I was in the gym all the time. I was eating low calorie, really high protein. It's just not my lifestyle, but I do want to lose 20 pounds. So thank you for all the submissions for that. And I will keep you updated on that journey. And I wanted to say it on the podcast only because it would hold me accountable. I'm saying it. This is episode 3, and I'm saying I'm losing 20 pounds. So if you see me not losing 20 pounds, actually do not say anything because you are not about to dictate my weight loss journey. But I'm just keeping myself accountable. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning back in. Thank you for the support on launch day. It was so much fun. And thank you for the support on this new weight loss journey. So for today's episode, we're going to talk about friendships. I have always had the best of friends, and the reason why I wanted to focus on this topic for this episode was because the amount of support that I got this past week from all of my friends in this new podcast. So it made me wanted to dedicate a whole episode on the importance of adult friendships, girl gangs, and just having those genuine friendships in your life. So growing up, it's so easy to maintain friends because they're like right in our face, right? So you're a kid, you're in school, you're in daycare, you're at your after school activities. It's it's really convenient, the friendships that you have, and they're not based off of a whole lot necessarily. You're like based off of going to someone's birthday party, you're playing at recess, you're at a book club after school. That's where your friendship kind of lies. But then as you get older, you need real friendships and real connections because we're dealing with a bunch of shit now, right? You have real adult issues, you have real adult celebrations, and you want genuine people around you for all of that in your life. So for me, growing up, my story with friends is I have friends in school. I have friends during like my dance days. I had a group of friends in pageantry. Always had a strong group of friends, really just in every avenue of my life. And what I noticed about that was I was really lucky to have genuine friends in all phases of my life, in all activities that I did. My mom used to always remind me how lucky I was, like to even have one best friend in this lifetime is a blessing, someone that really supports you. And for me to be able to have a ton of best friends is honestly an honor and it's super amazing. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I can't even invite 3 people to my birthday party because I don't have that many friends. And that's okay. And not trying to toot my own horn, but I do have a lot of friends. And I'm not trying to say it like, oh, I'm so popular. But I mean, hey, maybe I am, but I have a ton of friends and I love them all and they're really genuine and I'm really blessed to have that in my life. I think the reason why I have a lot of friends is because we are all like-minded. So friends from pageants, let's just start there. They're strong women that, have a career that they have set in mind. They are determined to get to where they want to be. and all of the above. So we are like-minded in that. My dance friends, the same way. My, whatever activity that I'm doing, we're all in the same industry in the entertainment, beauty, fashion world. So we have the same mindset and we have the same career goals. So I think that is why I have such strong friendships too, because I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people. And I know for me personally, I know that everyone doesn't necessarily have that dynamic in their workplace. And that's why it's hard to build and find adult relationships, because you just might not like the people you working with. That's a possibility too. You might not like the people that you're going to school with or whatever paths you're crossing as an adult. You just might not like the people around you. So for me, it's a little easier just because everyone's kind of the same and fun and high energy entertainment business, yada, yada, yada. And I understand that's not everyone's reality. But this purpose of this episode is to kind of help you understand how to find those good friendships as an adult, the importance of adult and girl gang friendships. And to me, they're really important just because I need that. I thrive off of the support of my friends, to lean on them, to cry with them, to laugh with them, all of that. So I'm here to help you figure that out for yourself, okay? All right. So I think the reason why adult friendships can be hard is one, they're not chill in the beginning. Like when you think about the friends that you've had as a kid or through college or whatever the case may be, you can sit on the couch with them and just scroll on TikTok for hours. And that feels fine. That feels comfortable. But when you're making new friends, you have to exert a lot of energy to make a new friend. Like you're not just gonna be on the couch scrolling on TikTok. You have to feel like you have to entertain new people. So that can kind of make you that can turn you off from trying to go out of your way and make new friends, because you're like, oh my God, I gotta entertain this person. I gotta be exciting. I gotta show my best of who I am to try to get a new friend. And that's exhausting. So that's one of the reasons why I think people are tired of trying to find new friends, especially as an adult. Two, adults are harder to trust. So going back to when you're a kid, like I said before, your friendships are based off of, we're gonna play at recess today. We're gonna go to a birthday party. And you're also just learning how to grow together as children. So you're not really worried about trusting someone as much. When you're an adult, you need to trust your friends and like wholeheartedly trust them with everything. And you tell them like secrets, you hang out, you want genuine friends. And that comes with trust. And that's hard because as adults, we've already built the character that we are. We already have the values that we have. And if your values don't match with this other stranger that you're trying to make a friend, that's probably not going to work. So that makes it harder too. Honestly, friendships, it's like dating. Like you have to decipher what you like and what you don't like. You have to go out of your comfort zone. You have to do all of that. It's just like trying to find a boyfriend or girlfriend. You have to approach it in the same way. And I also think we have to put as much importance that we put on finding a significant other into finding friends. Because like I keep mentioning, friends are the core, I think, of who we are. We all crave human connection, and not just human connection from like physical touch or a significant other, but like platonic friendship relationships. We all need that. So go out of your way the same way you try to find a man or find a girl, try to find some new adult friends, because I promise it will change everything for you. I know so many people out there probably feel lonely because they're like, oh my gosh, my routine's the same. I don't have any friends I could just call, hang out with, go to the movies with, cry with, and that makes you feel alone. So I encourage all of you to go out there and find adult friends, especially women. We and Allie talked about this in episode 1, how we're girls, and we love hanging out with our friends, our girlfriends, going to brunch, doing whatever, what girlies do, what the baddies do. And I think it's important that women find that companionship in other groups of women too. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about how to interact with other women because of the friendships that I've built. And so I think that's really important. Okay, so the next part is, how do you even get to that point? How do you have good friends? So I made a list, okay? I made a list to help you out because I think this is really important. So the first one, to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. That is just the root of it all. You have to be a good friend. You can't expect to have all these amazing friends and then you're putting no work in. Like I said, it's like a relationship. You got to put some work in. So number one is to be a good friend. And I pride myself on that, which is why I think I've been blessed with lots of friends because I'm a good friend and I'm really intentional with my friendships. The next one, you have to show support in any way possible. So going back to kind of why I even wanted to do this episode was because of the amount of support that I constantly receive from my friends, but that I received this Friday when I launched this new podcast. And they supported me in all ways, whether it was reposting a text or just telling me in person how much they enjoyed it or that they were proud of me, just showing support. And I try to do the same when they're doing something new or when they're excited about things. Showing support is a key part of friendship in any relationship. Text or call your friends and check on them. That feels like an obvious one, but we all get really busy. And sometimes you just forget or you don't think about it. And checking in on people, texting them, just seeing how they are is a big component of upholding those friendships. The thing is with adulthood, you have to be intentional because you can really go months without talking to your friend because we're all so busy and caught up into our own thing. We're like, going back to when we were a kid, your life is so the same. You're at daycare, you're at school, you're at your after school activity. So you're always seeing your friends. It's very convenient. Now it's not convenient. You got to go out of your way. You got to drive 30, 40 minutes to go see your friend, you know? You gotta call them, and we don't all like being on the phone. I don't like being on the phone. I'd rather text, you know, but we are all trying to be intentional and keep those friendships. Otherwise you'll look up and everyone that you love in your life is kind of just faded away because you haven't kept in contact or been intentional with your friendships. So texting and calling, but also on like devil's advocate, don't make your friendships have requirements. I think if you're the person that's like, well, that person has not texted me or called me and yada, yada, yada. Don't hold that against people. Like for me, my friendships don't have requirements. I have friends that I necessarily haven't talked to that often, or maybe they're high school friends, but we chat every now and then and they're still supportive. I'm supportive of them. And that's just where our friendship is. I don't hold them like at this standard that you need to do for me. They don't have a requirement in our friendship. There's not like a quota box to fill out to meet my standard in that way. So don't be strict to the point where you have these requirements in all your friends. Oh, they haven't checked on me. Everyone is literally dealing with life, trying to survive, trying to pay gas, trying to pay bills. That's just where we are. We're as adults. So don't hold your friends to like this high standard of you can hold them accountable, but don't have these requirements, if you get what I'm saying. But checking on your friends. Okay, the next one. Be engaged in conversations and follow up on things that they mentioned before. So what I try to do is if my friend's talking about something, I'm going to ask questions that have nothing to do with me. Like I'm going to ask them how they plan to fix that or how they plan to do this, or ask follow-up questions so I can get to know them more or that situation more. And then when days go by, I'll bring it back up. I'm like, oh, how did that one thing turn out? How did that go? Because it just shows that you care and that you are paying attention to. Everything is not about you. So if you're not asking questions about other people, then to me, that's not a genuine friendship because it has to work two ways. Next one. Do not always bail on plans. That is a big one. And let me say, one, I get it because a lot of times I do not want to be going somewhere. Like it is a beautiful text when someone says, "Hey, can we rain check?" Absolutely. Like I wanted to rain check. And I think a lot of people feel like that too. It's a lot of energy to go out. It is. And you don't necessarily always want to, but you do not want to be the friend that's always bailing on plans. It's just not cool. And if you find yourself doing that a lot, you should reevaluate and be like, okay, next time I make sure I'm going to show up. Obviously, things come up, but you want to be intentional. That's my word of the day, intentional. You want to be intentional about when you're hanging out with your friends and making sure that you're not always canceling. And I think another thing that we can, like a segue off of this, is be more honest. We bail on friends last minute knowing that we were already not really wanting to go. So then we bail and we're like, oh, this came up, when really you just didn't want to go. And I think that we should start being more honest and saying, hey, I know we plan to hang out, but I really just am tired and I want to just chill and continue to watch this Netflix show that I've been binging. Or I really just don't feel up to it. I don't feel like getting dressed. Like, let's just be more honest with our friends. And then that way we can just be more honest as a society. And then that honestly would just help our mental health, honestly. Just being honest, telling your friends, I don't want to go out because I'm tired and I want to sit down at the house and I want to eat hot Cheetos on the couch. I don't want to go out. And that's perfectly fine. I think if we understand each other more in that way, you don't feel so attacked or feel so, not attacked, but you feel sad because someone bails on you because they're being honest, you know? So be honest with your friends with that, but also don't bail on plans because you're trying to be outside with your friends. Okay. Next one, be transparent. That I basically just said that already. So be transparent. Friends want to feel like they can talk to you about any and everything. So I feel like my friends come to me a lot about issues they're having or just really anything. And I know that they know that they can come to me because I'm always transparent with them. And I also tell them things that I need help with. So I think if you're transparent with your friends, then they'll be transparent with you. And last one I have, encourage each other to reach goals and work hard. That's a big one. A lot of times, if you ask yourself, do you know what your friends want to do in life? Do you know what their goals are? That's something that I was realizing a while ago that I wasn't too sure of as some of my friends. I'm like, oh, I don't even know what they want to do. Like, we're all working at the same place now and we do this and we do that together, but I'm not really sure what are their long-term goals? Like, do they want to, what steps do they want to take in their career? Do they want kids? Do they want to have a house one day? Like, what is your long-term goal? And I think that if we start discussing that more as friends, we can help each other get to that point that we want to be at. So discuss those goals, encourage each other to reach for the stars and to work hard because that truly is what friendship's about too. You need those people to lean on. That was not the last one. I had one more actually. Have fun. Just have fun with your friends. It should not be difficult. Like, same thing with the relationships, and we'll talk about that another time, but when people are like, love is hard, relationships are hard. I'm like, well, anything's hard because it can be hard, but why are you guys saying it like it's so difficult? Like it's scary. Friendships should not be hard. You might run into, bickers here and there or whatever the case may be, but friendships are not hard. You need to have fun. It's your friend. Chill out. Have a vibe. I prompt this question for you guys because I kind of am going on like what I think you guys need to do to have a good friend, but I wanted to hear when you knew your best friend was your best friend. So the first one I have is I knew this was my BFF when she drove right over when I told her my boyfriend and I broke up. Okay, yeah, especially for girls, that is super telling. I mean, when you and your boyfriend break up, you and whoever break up is traumatizing, especially in that moment. And to have friends that just like drop everything and just run over. I mean, I've done this several times with some of my friends, whether it was relationship stuff. We have all dropped everything we had and went to our friend's house. And I mean, one of my friends brought her dog and all. Like we dropped everything. You call me and you're crying. Yeah, I'm at the house immediately. Okay. Next one. I knew this was my BFF when I walked into a party. She gave me tequila shots. She gave me 3 tequila shots, then left and got hot dogs. Period. I mean, that's like a best friend to me because if I'm walking into the party, I should have tequila shots literally being handed to me. And then you're going to give me food after? That is my love language. Casamigos and french fries. All right. I knew this was my BFF when they consistently supported me through leaving an abusive relationship. Yes, 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 yes. Like I said before, you want to have friends that are willing to drop everything on a dime, especially when you're in need or in pain. And this same situation is what I was mentioning when I said to my friends and I dropped everything. We raced over there. And it was honestly, like she said, consistently. We showed her support and was empathetic and felt and compassionate to the situation until this day, honestly. So having friends that are gonna check up on you and be consistent in that way is super important. I knew this was my BFF when he spotted me for food and didn't want me to pay him back. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with that. Okay, obviously it's not in everyone's financial means to be spotting people's, dinner or lunches, but that makes anyone feel good if someone's like, "Oh no, I got you." Like, don't pay me back. No, don't do that. I'm like, "Oh, you really love me. Like, you really like me." It just makes you feel good in the inside. And especially if you like reciprocate it, then, your friends are always going to have your back. You got me this time, I got you next time. So yes, I think that's true friendship right there. Because if you pay for someone's food, That to me is love. That's a love language. At least that's mine. Okay, the last one. I knew this was my BFF when I was sprung over a guy and that didn't value me, and she was the only one who called it out. See, that is what I mean why you need girlfriends. You need a group of girl gang members because we have the best intuition, women do. We know exactly when you're being played. We know when someone is shisty. We know it all. We're like better than the FBI. We are going to find what needs to be found, and we're going to do it better than the FBI every single time. So she knew that this guy did not value you because she picked up on the signals. And would a man do that for you? Probably not. So that's why you need girlfriends. So yes, this is a great example of knowing your best friend is your best friend because she's helping you figure out things that you couldn't even see. You were too blind to see. You were so in love, so sprung, and you need a girlfriend to snap you out of that and be like, sis, no, he don't even like you. Okay, so now it's time for our Dear Imani segment, what you're all here for. I mean, I really be dropping gems the whole entire episode, so I don't really know. I don't really have to even separate the Dear Imani part because I stay dropping the mic. This one is my friend being a good friend. So the first one we have, Dear Imani, I've been trying to make plans to hang out after months apart and she keeps canceling. Okay, so we touched on this, right? So one, it really depends on the situation. Everything with this, I think, is case by case. But if you have been trying to plan something for months and this is your true friend, a true friend will want to hang out with you. Like, I would be sad if months went by and I'm trying to plan something and my friend is flaking every time. Like, you don't like me. You just don't. You don't want to hang out with me. Why would you not? We've been apart for months. We don't live in the same location or we don't see each other and you keep bailing. Yeah, I don't think that friend is being a good friend because being a good friend is, once again, being intentional with everything and also just making sure that you're there for someone else. Like, does she know why what if you need to hang out because you're going through something and she's continuing to bail on you, or you just want to hang out to have a good time. So I think that's not being a good friend. I'm gonna have to put the X on that. It's not being a good friend. Okay. Dear Imani, a friend that only talks about themselves and never asks about your life. Should you get rid of them? Yes. Yes, you should. Or if you want to be honest and be like, hey, why don't you ask anything about my life? Because I want to talk too. But if everyone, that's just common sense to me. I feel like everyone should know I should ask someone how they're doing. Just imagine this. Close your eyes, imagine this. You meet somebody and you say, hi, how are you? And you say, good. And that's it. They don't say, how are you back? That's odd. That's very much weird. So I take the same thing in the friendship. If they're not asking you how you're doing, what's new in life, checking in on this situation, that situation, then I do not think that is being a good friend. So I'm going to put an X on that too. Not being a good friend. I also want to go back to the hanging out one just for a second, because I do feel like so many people just be exhausted and they don't want to hang out. And I get that. And I've been there too. But I think what you have to think about is don't be that friend that is constantly canceling plans. If you canceled, I would say the max, you can cancel 2 plans. By the third one, you better show up. Period. You have to show up. If you cancel the third time, you don't like us. You don't like your friend. You got to come to the third one at least. Okay. We're going to continue back into where we were. All right. Dear Imani, my friend takes forever to pay me back after trips, dinner, concerts, or drinks. What do I do? That is so bold. I literally get anxiety if I owe someone money. Like, by the time, if my friend's like, oh, I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to put it on my card. Because, people trying to get points to flying miles or whatever. And they're like, I'm going to put it on my card. I'm immediately sending the Venmo. Before their card even slides at the cashier or with the waitress, I'm already having the money in their account because I'm not about to owe anybody anything. Besides, I owe my parents a lot of money, but they don't really count. Yeah. So my friends, I'm not owing them money. That's odd. So the fact that someone paid for the flight and you have to pay them back, to pay for the drinks, you got to pay them back, and you're just not, you're just holding out. And that's why you have to be honest. If you don't have the money right now, just say, hey, I get paid next week. Can I pay you back for this flight? Can I pay you back for these drinks when I get paid? And most of the time, your friend's probably going to say, yeah, oh, that's fine. But you have to be honest, because then this is, again, you're thinking about yourself. Because now, how uncomfortable does a friend have to be when they have to ask for it? Nobody wants to ask for money. So don't put anyone in that position, like just send the money immediately so the person doesn't have to say, hey, like, do you have that $50 I spent on lunch last time? Don't be that person. That's super annoying and not considerate at all. And obviously, you can't afford it because you're holding out on the coins and not paying me back. So what in the world makes you think that I can afford it? Like, you're just putting your financial burden onto me. What the hell? So that's not being a good friend. All right. Dear Imani, what's a fun way to make new friends? Okay, so I wrote a little list for you guys again. I got you, I promise, every time. Okay, so what's a fun way to make new friends? 1, get out of your comfort zone. It's like dating. So you're not gonna just find your Prince Charming or princess, period, just in the house. And if you do find them just in your house, then call the police because why are they in your house? You're not gonna find them in your house. You have to go out of your way to find someone if you're trying to date them, right? Like if your day is I wake up, go to the gym, I go get coffee, I go to work, I come home, make dinner, I go to sleep. And it's every day like that. Where are you going to find a boyfriend or girlfriend? Like, you have to go outside your comfort zone. Same thing with friends. Like, if you've already worked at a place for years, you don't like nobody there. So no one's just going to appear out of the blue. You go to the same gym, you don't like anybody there. Where are you going to find new friends? You have to get out of your comfort zone. So to me, that means like going places, going out, maybe finding not Facebook. I don't know. Maybe if that's your vibe, going to Facebook, finding Facebook groups, and joining them so you can like meet new people. Maybe hit up a lounge or go to an event, find an event like on Instagram where there's like singles, but not singles in the way to try to mingle, but like single like friendships. You have to go out of your way. I don't know. Find something that gets you out of your comfort zone so you can find someone new. Because otherwise, you are just waiting for a friend to knock on your door, and that's just not going to happen. At least I wouldn't want that to happen for me. All right, the next one. Be the first to talk to someone. That can be really scary. Being the first to talk to someone, to initiate a conversation. That can be terrifying for people. But once again, that's a part of getting out of your comfort zone. How are you going to make new friends if you just are waiting on everyone else to talk to you? Maybe other people have social anxiety. So then no one's just talking to each other and you're not going to make a new friend. So try to just be like, okay, what's an example? You say you see someone, especially girls. I feel like it's so much easier for girls too, because we can just be like, oh my God, I love your dress. Where'd you get that from? Cue other friend. Oh my God, I got this from Target. It was only $20. And yes, I got this from Target and it was $20. So yes, link is not in bio, but But oh my God, I got this from Target. It's only $20. And then the other girl's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I love shopping at Target. So then you're just gonna bounce back and forth. And you see how easy that was? You didn't have to start a conversation like, hey, my name's Imani and I would like to be your friend. That's kind of weird. Just be subtle with it. I like your shoes. I like your hair. I like your smile, whatever the case may be. But I think that's easier for girls because we compliment each other. We're like, oh my God, you're so cute. You're so pretty. We're used to that. And I think that's easy way for girls to make friends. If you're a guy, I mean, I'm not a guy, but you can compliment guys too if that's your icebreaker, if you want to. Or a guy, they could be like, I don't know, what do guys do? I don't really know. I don't really care actually. So let's just move on. Okay. So the next one, when someone asks to hang out, go. And this is repetition at this point, like hanging out with people, making sure you're going out. This one, hang out with someone. If they ask, just go and do it. It's so easy. How many times have someone said, let's hang out? And then it's crickets. You don't hang out with them ever. So this time I challenge you, next time someone that you're like trying to become friends with, they're kind of a new acquaintance in your life or whatever the case may be, and they say, let's hang out. You have to say, yes, make a plan right then and there. Let's go to lunch next week at 3:00 here and actually go. Do not rain check, just go, because you never know what kind of friendship can come about was just letting go, just doing it. I think a lot of times we block our blessings because of the fact that we're like, I'm going to rain check. It's like, imagine if you just went and you could meet a new bestie. So go hang out with the person. Okay, next one. Attend social places and exchange social medias. So social media is the way of the world, obviously. So I think that's a great icebreaker too, especially if you're not comfortable asking for someone's number yet, if you don't really know them. Social media is like a free for all. So like, hey, what's your Instagram? What's your TikTok? Whatever the case may be. So I would say exchange social medias. And then, like I said before, attend social events. So if you see something happening in your community, check it out and see if you can meet someone new. Going out of your comfort zone is the key. My last one on this list, Bumble BFF. So Bumble is a dating app, essentially, and great success. One of my best friends is now engaged, and they met on Bumble. So sponsor their wedding. But if not, I'm still going to shout out this app. So Bumble BFF is the friendship version of the dating app. And I know people that have used this and have had best friends come out of this app. And all of these tips I'm giving is literally just coming out of your comfort zone. And Bumble BFF is just that. So it takes the pressure off too, because I feel like a dating app is hard because you have so many standards and it's like intimidating. But friendship, it's like, oh, hey, you like Stranger Things? I like Stranger Things. You like hot Cheetos? I like hot Cheetos. I'm going to talk about hot Cheetos a lot in this podcast because that's just my favorite snack. But, you just find things that you have in common and you just bounce back and forth and boom, you got a friend. So I think Bumble BFF is a perfect way to go. And then you can stalk them. It has their social medias already on there. They're probably in your area. I think it's just a win-win situation for both parties. And then just like dating, if you don't like them, then ghost them, period. It's just the same thing. Look at it like dating and try just as hard as you do to try to date someone to find a friend. All right. So those were all of the submissions for, is my friend being a good friend? I knew my BFF was my BFF when, and those were all really good. And so I really hope that you learned something today. So for Imani's final thoughts, my final thoughts today are, the main word was to be intentional with your friends. Just like we search for a significant other, I think it's equally as important to search for genuine friendships in your life, especially for women. I feel like we need that connection to be with other girls, whether it's to just hang out with, go to brunch with, get your nails done with, or cry, go through triumphs with, go through celebrations with. I feel like I am who I am today because of the amount of women friendships I have and the genuine friendships I have across the board in all facets of my life. So be intentional with your friends and go out of your comfort zone to find new friends. Adult friendships are, I think, the key, and you'll find so much happiness when you do that. So those are my final thoughts for today. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast or watching this podcast. Like I said, I hope you learned something new. Go out there, find a friend, find a new bestie, and be outside and turn up. All right. I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening. Hello, dear Imani.